You are listening to an Audio Box original story. Please like and subscribe, and I will create more stories for your listening pleasure.
The Bathhouse Chapter 9, Lost in the Mist. The interior of the Mini Cooper smelled of iron and ozone. Rayon was slumped against the passenger door, his breath coming in ragged, wet rattles. Clea drove with one hand on the wheel, and the other pressed firmly against the makeshift bandage on his side, her fingers slick with the heat of his life leaking away. "Stay with me, Rayon," she gasped, her voice cracking. "We're almost there. Just look at the trees." But as she stared at the road ahead, the landmarks began to warp. The ancient oaks of Blackwood seemed to shift and reset, creating a labyrinth of shadows. She tried to visualize the turnoff for the bathhouse as she raced to get to Ming before the dying of the light, the stone lantern, the moss-covered bridge, but the memory was like smoke. Every time she reached for it, it drifted further away. "How did I get there last time?" she panicked. Left at the cedar, or was it a right at the pond? The chime began to hum in the back of her skull, a low, vibrating frequency that synchronized with the slowing beat of Rayon's heart. The forest began to glow with a soft, ethereal mist. Clea's vision blurred, the dashboard lights flickering like dying stars. She was lost in the mist that seemed to stretch for miles. She looked over at Rayon. His breath was shallow, and his eyes sunk back as his life was slipping away by the minute. She was lost and exhausted as the light faded to black. "Ming," she whispered, her head falling forward. "Please." The last thing she remembered was the scent of sandalwood and the sound of a wooden bucket hitting the water. Clea didn't wake up in the car. She woke up in a memory. She was back in Factory 9, but the halls were filled with waist-deep water. She saw her father, the architect, standing at the end of a long clinical hallway. He looked older, his lab coat stained with the same mahogany red she had seen on the cottage floors. Behind him stood Kane, but he wasn't a man. He was a towering shadow made of ash and broken glass. Kane's hand was wrapped around her father's throat. "You built the cage," Kane's voice echoed, cold and hollow. "But I'm the one who keeps the keys. Your daughter is the final piece, architect. She is the bridge to the ghost." Her father looked at her, his eyes filled with a desperate, silent apology. Suddenly, the water in the hallway turned to ink. From the depths, Subject 012 emerged. He wasn't the tattooed Yakuza king this time. He was the small, trembling boy from the factory pole, his spine glowing with a green light that burned through the darkness. "Run, Clea," the boy whispered, "before the bell strikes." Clea bolted upright, a gasp tearing from her throat. She wasn't in the car. She was lying on a soft futon in a room screened by sliding paper doors. The air was warm and heavy, with the scent of medicinal herbs and steaming water. The frantic terror of the forest had been replaced by a silence so profound it felt heavy. She looked down at her hands. They were clean. The blood was gone. She scrambled to her feet, her legs feeling like lead, and pushed aside the shoji screen. She found herself in the heart of the bathhouse. Steam rose in thick, lazy plumes from the cedar tubs. In the center of the room, Ming was kneeling beside a low stone table. Rayon laid there, stripped to the waist. His wound wasn't wrapped in tactical gauze. It was covered in a thick, shimmering paste of blue-black herbs. Ming was chanting softly, her fingers tracing the air above his chest. As Clea watched, the jagged hole in Rayon's side seemed to pulse. The black paste was drawing out the gray metallic tint of the ash sniper round, pulling the poison from his cells. "He is strong," Ming said without looking back. Her voice was as calm as the water. "The formula the ghost gave him. It is fighting for his life. But his spirit is still back in the trees." "How did we get here?" Clea asked, her voice trembling. "I don't remember the drive. I don't remember the gate." Ming finally turned, her dark eyes reflecting the steam as her silhouette shifted through the haze. "This place cannot be found by maps, Clea. It is found by need. You brought him to the threshold, and the mountain did the rest." Ming stood up, wiping her hands on a silk cloth. Your dreams were loud, daughter of the architect. You saw the shadow and the boy. You know now that Cain isn't just hunting a rogue agent. He is hunting the pure instinct that lives inside both of them. Glia walked toward the tub, looking at Rayon's peaceful face. Subject 012. He's part of the Yakuza now. He told me Cain is building ash to replace purgatory. He told me I was a dead girl. You are only dead if you return to the world of glass and steel, Ming said, gesturing toward the steaming water. But here, you are between breaths. Rest, Glia. The war will find you soon enough. But for now, let the water strengthen you both and wash away the pain.
Thank you for returning. Please like and subscribe, and more chapters will be on the way. I write original stories and create an audio version for your listening pleasure. These stories are a work in progress, so subscribe and comment, and it will inspire me to keep the chapters coming. Thanks again for stopping by.